When you think of Star Wars, you probably don't think of demonic possession or peeing yourself at a dinner party. And yet, if you take The Exorcist and Rogue One, there's a very interesting connection between the two. And you're probably asking yourself, or you're asking me, how does this connect to this? Let's find out. His name is Sean. He talks about things. Sean talks about things. Okay, first, some background, or even first. If you haven't seen The Exorcist, this is going to be highly spoiler-filled because a lot of it addresses the ending of The Exorcist. So, stop now, go away, watch The Exorcist. If you haven't seen Rogue One, why are you watching a Star Wars channel, I guess? Or maybe you're an Exorcist fan. Doesn't matter. Go away. Rogue One, Exorcist. That's your homework. Come back. Right, done. So, The Exorcist is simple. Well, actually, The Exorcist isn't simple. There's a lot of common misconceptions about The Exorcist. For a lot of people, when they think of it, they think of this.
Compels you!
And that's not actually what the movie is about. Now, admittedly, it is called The Exorcist, and not The Exorcism. So it kind of is given away. But even then, when people think of the Exorcist character, they think of this guy.
But you cannot deny the truth. That is your family.
When actually, the main character of the movie is this guy.
Since the day I joined the Jesuits, I've never met one priest who has performed an exorcism. Not one.
Damien Karras. And his whole plotline, he is the character in The Exorcist who probably has the strongest arc. He starts off, he's a priest, he's losing his faith. He lives in Washington, his mother lives in NYC. When he goes to see her, and he gets to see her like once a month, she lives in a crappy apartment. She's all alone, she just spends all her days listening to Greek radio, and eventually she gets put in an absolutely awful like sanitarium, and then she dies. Which helps to push Karras further and further away from his faith. Then, he's asked by Chris MacNeil, the mother of Regan, who's the possessed girl, to help her, because they've got to the point now where she believes that there is some sort of demonic element, or psychologically Regan does, and an exorcism can save that. Now, Karras has lost his faith, but he still goes to help, and through the act of helping Regan, he rediscovers his faith, to the point where he takes the demon into himself, but has still got enough humanity. He has enough humanity to fight the demon off, and he puts himself through the window, and he kills himself and frees Regan, and essentially sends the demon back to hell, is the assumption. Now, put a pin in that. We're going to come back to that. So, that links into Rogue One with two characters, Baze and Chirrut.
Who are they?
The guardians of the Wills, protectors of the Kyber Temple. But there's nothing left to protect.
Baze has become cynical and angry, and basically, he's lost his faith.
There are no Jedi here anymore. Only dreamers like this fool.
Chirrut has stayed completely pious, believes that the Force is with us, whereas Baze seems more sort of, he just wants to protect his friend, and that's it. Now, crucially with these two characters, you have Chirrut's faith is essentially endless. His faith in hope, his faith in the rebellion, his faith in Baze, his faith in the Force. And it eventually kills him, because he uses that faith to hit the master switch, but from that action, he dies, and Baze runs to him and holds him in his final moments. Put a pin in that. Back to The Exorcist. So, Karras jumps out the window, falls down a flight of stairs, hits the bottom, about to die. His friend Father Dyer, who we've seen throughout the film, finds him at the bottom of the stairs, holds his hand and reads him the last rites. Now, if you're a Catholic or if you believe in that kind of thing, it is my understanding that if you are read the last rites, you're going to go to heaven. And that's important. You know, Karras lost his faith, found his faith, did a truly noble thing, and his friend was there to read him the last rites and get him to heaven. Cool. Now, Rogue One. Chirrut Imwe dies. He's there with Baze. Baze is holding on to him, and Baze sort of reads him the benediction. I am one with the Force, and the Force is with me. And it's essentially almost like the Jedi last rites. So it's a reversal of Dyer and Karras. The pious man dies in Rogue One, and the man who'd lost his faith rediscovers his faith because of that. And yeah, that's it. And he takes that faith, and he's able to kill a bunch of people, bad people. And yeah, and then he dies as well. And that is how The Exorcist connects to Rogue One, through the themes of faith and friends, making sure other friends get to go to heaven and have a moment of peace and tranquility in their final moments. And that's it. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.